Hello, I just want to share some videos and the book that I got from the South Korea Unification Department. Let's see if I can share the video with you guys. Seems like I might not able to share the video. Let's see. Do this. I think it's this one. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is Ukraine's they are attacking the Russian defense position. I'm sure like some of you guys saw this, and at this time there was North Korean troops were involved in this bad, ugly son of a bitch. Those are North Korean kids. So basically, the Ukrainians they killed most of them, and so many North Korean troops they slaughtered there, which is like it's very obvious when you going there. Let's see if I can continue to play. I'm sure like North Korean kids, they don't expect this. So this is also the North Korean kid. One drone per kill. So when those kids like saw those drones in Ukraine, they were very terrified because they never saw those things. So this guy he killed his own people there. This was North Korean kid. He's severely injured. He doesn't know where he is. So I think that's like a North Korean soldiers in the vehicle, and they. I think that's that North Korean soldier. It's a modern warfare. If this is North Korea, they don't even have these vehicles. They just like run to the trenches and run to the enemy's lines. That's what North Korea dictator will, or the followers will demanding soldiers to do. It's basically a suicidal mission, and they don't. The kids don't know. So that some people they say controversy. They saying like those North Korean soldiers are very patriotic. Some people say when I watching the South Korean the channel, and he said that one of the North Korean soldier people during a time of the events he dying, he said, "Long live the Kim Jong Un." I mean, if either way he's going to die, so it better to he said that thing is to save his family back in North Korea. If he said that if Kim Jong Un heard about it, then he will rewarding his family as like a hero's family, giving some like a rice and then some like things like that. So it's not his. We don't know if he's really believing that or he just think about the family members and saying that as for the rewards to family members. So nowadays, like the people say, like, it's a freedom of speech, and then they're using a lot of nasty things. Like I saw the other day, my wife told me that during the Texas burst of July burst, that Texas has like a flash flood and many people are being killed. Yeah, one of the evil doctor, she said, all the Republicans deserve. She said, what the mega supporters deserve what they selected for. She was like a children's doctor, and then saying that such evil things. How could even like think about saying those things? If that was like her kids, was she able to say, "Oh, my son kids were like supporting Omega, so I'm so happy they're dead." I don't think so. This is so pure evil. Even if it's their own kids, you shouldn't ever like celebrating someone's death because of some like evil people. Couple of them or certain group of evil ones. Many people fall into trap or being killed. That doesn't mean that you just celebrating for their death. Otherwise, you are equally bad as like a Nazi Hitler. When going back to the Ukrainian war that North Korean soldiers are joining, I'm sure like the many North Korean soldiers they desire to get captured, not being killed. But many I don't believe that like Ukrainians give like an opportunity to surrender. If they try something, then I'm sure like they could save many of them and using them backed by Russia. Because when I was in North Korea, if someone could give me weapons to like a revenge, I would definitely doing it. So I put Ukrainians, they use some brain and using North Korean soldiers, we capture them and then send them back to like a front lines. They could do better, and they don't have to sacrifice their own Ukrainian lives. But politicians, like Zelensky, like those the dumb idiots, they don't want to use their brains. They just enjoy getting free money and help from the Western countries, especially from us, looking for disaster. And North Korea government, it's a very good business for them, for Kim Jong Un and his followers. So definitely, they will sending more troops. But now I'm more hearing that they were sending more, so I don't surprised. Also, Kim Jong Un, he doesn't want them to come back alive. He want them to all be dead. Maybe a couple of generals, maybe, but then when they come back home, they will be silently dismissed or being buried alive. Because those people, once they taste the Western countries and freedom, you cannot stop them. There's a related video that's showing that Kim Jong Un was crying over like dead North Korean soldiers in Ukrainian war. So I think like the Kim Jong Un, he's a pretty good uh, comedian, and he know how to bake himself. His father, the Kim Jong Il, he was like the dumbass. He's like more like a gangster. And he doesn't know how to bake it, but Kim Jong Un, I think he's using his brain pretty well, which means to me it's like it's in very desperate situation, getting more and more. So he knew that people don't believe him, people are mocking him. So that's why I think he does that, hoping that people will change their minds and love him or like follow him, just like his grandfather Kim Il Sung did. But unless like the idiots of idiots can believe that. Let's see. Also, like some people saw on some of the clips or photos in parade in Pyongyang. Those people they battle pretty well. That's what I heard from my father. But the exercise so much, it's just like they pass out during the parade. Everything in North Korea is for show to the Western countries. It's not for real. It's not for like they just like, really care for anybody. They only care for themselves. Same with China. The Chinese like Red Party, they only care for themselves. They don't care about the civilians. Right now, like the Chinese civilians, they are the suffering the most. And because of that, I think a certain group of the Chinese Red Parties they rising against the Xi Jinping, which is good. Also, when I was in North Korea, I saw T-34 tank. They brought it to my hometown and showing it to people. I don't know where they were going to, but when I when I was in North Korea, I thought it was like, wow, what a magnificent, because I got the huge metal thing, like cranking and moving. It was so fascinated. But when I came here, looking at the movies and documentaries and parade, live parade, and looking at those Iraqi war, I got the Desert Storm. It's very North Korean tanks like a piece of shit. It's like a metal junkyard, and they still think they are the best. But I'm sure they know they are the worst. Number wise, they are, yes, there's very best numbers. But 21st century world doesn't do with our numbers. Okay, here's a video about the Kim Jong-un crying for the dead soldiers in Ukraine war. Okay. It seems like he's smirking at the Putin. What a show. Unbelievable. I'm sure those are, it's not the regular soldiers. Those are generals and commanders. The bunch that possessed evil ones. The interesting thing is that some of the Western countries, so even some people, many people in the US think that communist is a good country, which looks like they don't know what they are saying. They just mentally retarded people. The idea of it is good, like I mentioned to people, but it's not work. It's not. It's like you work and then you share your bank information with me so I can go shop and do whatever I want, buy whatever I want, eat whatever I want to eat with your money, so I don't have to work. That's the communist ideology. And yet, during the Kim Il Sung's regime, many lazy people that they lived as a slave or have no idea what to do because they don't have any basic knowledge about the world or education. So those people supported the Kim Il-sung. That's what I heard, which is it's very reasonable thing, because those during the Joseon Dynasty, many slaves were in Korean Peninsula, and they don't know how to read, how to do other things, only besides they taking command from the owners. So when the Kim Il-sung came and told them like, I will give you equality life, you and there's no owner, no slaves, and then those idiots like, I like the idea, so I'm going to support you. So they went to North Korea and support the dictator. But that doesn't mean all the North Koreans they supported it. Many of them they being trapped. They could not get out of the country. So that's why during the Korean War, many of the North Koreans they escaped through the ocean. The Hungnam is one of the well-known events in Korean War. They're one of the U.S. general. One of actually the South Korean the commander he begged the U.S. general says, let's save these people instead of loading the armors and weapons, and that's why the U.S. general hit on all the weapons and ammunition supplies, and they just exploded and then loading the immigrants, and they came down to South Korea. After the war, there's still many people were trying to escape, and that's what many people did, but still many of them were like being trapped. And then after during the Korean War ended, and they secured the border, they laid the minefields and everywhere barbed wire, things like that, and they could not escape. So that's what current North Korea is. If during the Korean War, China did not interrupt, North Korea will be surrendered, and there won't be any communism. But China, they intervened in the Korean War. There was there in the North Korea and China that's called the Baekdu Mountain. Like Chinese, they call it Changbaisan. In North Korea, we also say like a Jangbek. Jangbek is like more like big, tall mountains that connected each other. So during the Korean War, when the U.S. cut through the Incheon, and General MacArthur cut through the Incheon, the Kim Il-sung went to Chinese leader and negotiate with them, saying that if I giving the help of the Baekdu Mountain, will you support me with sending some troops to North Korea? That's what I heard. I think it is true. I think because that's why again after the war, the Jangbek or Baekdu Mountain was like divided and help North Korea, help China. My mom told me that when she went up to top of the mountain with the schoolmates, it was really a beautiful place. When the weather is clear, and you feel like you're walking on in the sky because it's so fresh and clean. What I heard was like they did it for contract of 100 years, but I don't think that China will return that. And Dongbuk Samsung, which means like 3 province in current China, that's a Korean peninsula. It's a piece of another land belong to Korea. Also, many people they confuse that is Korea means 대한민국. Even the Koreans they confuse that, but it's not, 대한민국 is not Korea. That's different country, and rest of the world they only recognize as a Korea. Korea is a Korea, and I think early 1200 or like 1300, many of the Western and Middle Eastern traders they came back to Korean Peninsula and did something work and went back to their country and spread the word. Like there's a called Korea Indo accent, and that's why it's nowadays like still known as Korea. First dynasty is called Joseon. I think it's if I like pronounce it better than Joseon, which means it should be like a J-O, Joseon, S-E-O-N, like this, space. Joseon dynasty was the first ones, and after that the Joseon dynasty collapsed, and then Goguryeo, and nowadays most people remember as a Korea. Goguryeo, this. So seems like Kim Jong-un he putting his daughter the Kim Joo-hae as like a next generation, but next leader. But I don't think it won't last that much because people were not listening to the little town people. Even like when the Kim Jong-il's time, when I was there, every village or like a towns they have to have propaganda letters saying like our great leader Kim Jong-il and Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il. But so if you wake up in the morning, you see that like those letters are down. Some people purposely took them down, and I did a couple times. They took off one of the letters. And they just covered with on the wood, so just like pull it up and throw in the mud or something. After that, they were like some guy. They gathered some people to scan the areas at night. But if people really want to do it, then they can't stop it. Now I want to share some like South Korea's the unification thoughts on North Korea. Seems like they know what they are doing and they know the situations, but they don't want to care because they like the game. Even though they say, "Oh, we care for the humanity," not all of them doesn't care, but most of them they don't care. Wake up. I got this. I got the book in Korean, but then I searched it on internet from their website and found the English version, so I downloaded it. So there's a title, Unification White Paper. I mean, in the beginning, it's just a boring page. I looked it over once before, and then seems like they know the situations, but they don't care. So this parts I did last time. I shared it with you guys in the video. I created the video. And then second part. Just a second. Zoom in, so is to read. Okay. Section 1, Environment for Policy Implementation. Since the second US and North Korea summit in 2019 ended without meaningful result, and North Korea closed its borders due to COVID, Xi Jinping's virus pandemic in 2020. The North has served all inter-Korean connections at the 9th plenary meeting of the 8th Central Committee of the Workers' Party of Korea, September 26, 30 through 30, 23. North Korea refined inter-Korean relations as ties between two hostile states. I mean, they keep doing that. Kim Il-sung did it, Kim Jong-il did it. They always twitching a little bit. So, because like it's a very hot topic in Korean Peninsula. So, in order to get some people's attention, they doing that. Early 2000, 1990s, North Korea government they played twice consecutively twice North Korean like a national anthem. If the music played 3 times, playing the national anthem three times in North Korea, that means it's a war. So when the national anthem like suddenly playing, then everybody have to stop and then get ready. How many times is play? If like playing it 3 times, then it's a war, so they have to get ready. So that's what we did. I remember like all of a sudden we were watching movie and in the evening, I think it was like around 7 or 8, and then suddenly national anthem came up, and then people were like, "Is there a war going on? Is it actually really starting?" It's like everybody was like excited. If you keep playing for like maybe like 30 minutes, and it didn't, and played twice, and then it stopped, and then play twice again, and it stopped. So it has like the continuously 3 times, then it's a war, but they only played it twice or a few times and then stopped. In North Korea, especially where I was at, it's a very remote area and people hated the government so much, so they just looking for a war to overthrow the government. So when the things like that, the people are getting excited, like finally, but never came true. I think government did it on purposely. I think that was because of the Pueblo or something. I don't know. So some kind of South Korea and North Korea and the U.S. Soldiers were very hot-tempered moments. So, and when I was in North Korea, I never knew that Kim Il Sung apologized to MacArthur or whatever for parallel X incident. Some of the North Korean criminals they murdered the U.S. soldiers, and U.S. was getting ready to attack, but North Korea I heard that Kim Il Sung was apologized to U.S. and that's why U.S. didn't attack them. They should attack no matter what, but that was a big disappointment. Unification. I never heard peaceful unification in North Korea. The idiot and idiot supporters, they just creating things themselves. Okay, let's look at parts 2. 화성. Let's talk about the ICBM. Yeah, 화성. They like using the 화성. To me, I'm not a big fan of North Korea government at all, but for political and the diplomat, I think like North Korea is diplomats like more like, manipulative than South Korea. South Korea politicians, they need to learn how to negotiate, how to diplomat with other countries. They think themselves as like the smart, but they don't realize how stupid they played by North Korea diplomats and do whatever they want. This is the next one. Section 2. Responding to North Korea's provocation and efforts to resolve the North Korean nuclear issues. Well, resolve North Korea's nuclear issue, only one issue, one result, war. And just like during the World War II, unless you complete destruction to the Nazi Hitler, there is no peace. There is no solution. Same with North Korea there. But South Korea will not. There was like a warship attack back in the days. It's only been a few days ago, but North Korea, they attacked first to South Korea, and some of the South Korean Navy, they've been killed and sunk one ship, I think, and then one North Korea ship was on the way. They eventually sunk. Some of the South Koreans, they saying that it's South Korea attacked first. I mean, if they that much supportive to a North Korea dictator, then they should go to North Korea and say, "Great leader, I'm here to worship you." They should do that, not in South Korea, and mocking those who lost family members. I think that's all for today. I will see you guys next time. Thank you.